Daniel, here's a free lesson. Oh, you're in his head, Graham. You're in his head. You're in your own head.
Yeah, we're also on a screen, so nothing is being captured. But yeah, hey, so for DAs, watch it offside, stay behind the stripe line. Otherwise, your 6 feet will not get caught on camera.
Good morning and welcome to day 2 of the 2018 Australian Ultimate Championships. We are here on the Gold Coast in beautiful Queensland and we're here for an absolute cracker of a matchup. Hometown boys, Brisbane Mammoth coming up against the defending champions, Colony Plunder. Colony Plunder, star-studded roster, looking to go to the World Ultimate Club Championships in Ohio later this year. We're going to make a real big push in the home fields here, show the crowds what they could do. Both teams got a lot of talent, both established and up and coming. Both sporting a number of players that did very well at the World Under-24 Ultimate Championships early this year. It's going to be interesting to see how they match up today. Expecting a very athletic contest. The wind is coming and going. At the moment it's going a little bit left to right, mostly away from the camera side to the far side of the field. But it's not yet at a level where the wind would trouble the throws too much. We're going to want to look to play mostly on the high side, mostly on the camera side of the field, and shoot from there. Mammoth coming out on defense. John McNaughton with the pull. Got a lot of air under it, sitting well. Paul Daniel senders to Garfield. Garfield goes around, finds Kocher. Kocher looks off the inside, resets to Daniel. Daniel finds Shepherd in the center. Shepherd looks long. He's got Mikkel underneath. It's looking long, and he's throwing that one in and straight through the goals. Brilliant opening point from Colony. That's the kind of class they want to show. They got a lot of dual threats on this roster. Mikkel, one of the strongest throwers in the world, showing his prowess in the end zone there. It's going to be interesting to see how this Colony team uses their players on both sides of the disc. Lots of them are dual threats, looking very unaffected by the wind there, putting the disc wherever they needed to, not looking pressured or troubled by this first Mammoth defensive point. That's 1-0 Colony. Mammoth lining up for their offensive point here. Mammoth sporting a couple of players previously, like many years with Colony. Alex Fielder and Thomas Moe. Both stars in their own right. Recently made the move to Brisbane and definitely been making an impact on this Mammoth roster. You can see we've got game advisors for this game here. They're the folks in yellow that will be moving around, signalling if there's a call on the field, keeping us to time, giving us those whistles, and of course acting as a walking rule if needed. Rob Andrews from Colony looking at Paul here. Andrews, one of the many crux present in this matchup here. Represented Australia numerous times at the highest level, showing his prowess, pulling across the wind. Mammoth on offense here. LA Cook with the disc. See Spielman around. No deep cuts to the team. Looks off the edge to McGuckin, who sets the disc. Mammoth holding in the centre. Finds Permac on the under. Looks long, he's got McGuckin on the end of it. Amazing athletic pin. Well, McGuckin with the read and the easy catch in the back of the end zone. Looks like this one. Coming back on a travel on the front there. Mammoth will retain possession of the disc. It's been a pretty offensive point so far from them. Very blessed with that. Just shoot straight away, make something happen immediately and take a hasty decision, but Permac's got to have the patience here. Let's see what he's got for us. Looks at his dump, he can't get free. Todd Hill with the block. What a great read, and he's got the disc again. Colony resets to Stewart. Stewart finds Wee, co-captain of the under-24 Blue Bottles this year. Finds Stewart up the line. Stewart fakes the big. Finds Andrews in the centre. Colony resetting well. Todd Hill under it, but it's just overthrown. And Permac again. Permac Hill really affecting this point. McGuckin in the centre. Goes around, sees Spielman. It's just overthrown. Little floaty ones like that, just dying in the wind. Andrews picks up the disc. Fakes the big. Doesn't engage his dump. Finds Petro on the far sideline. Petro can attack into the field. Finds Parley. Still stuck on that sideline. Colin able to use the width of the field here. Jam it in the space. Stewart. And then Andrews to the front cone. Great defensive bid by Raymond. We've seen a lot of that today. He's just unable to stop Andrews coming in screaming for the goal. That's an early break from Colin. That's 2-0. That's not the kind of start that Mammoth were looking for. Defensive offense from Mammoth. Offensive defense looking pretty good. Able to get a couple of blocks and advance the disc, but Permac engages his dump, and his dump's just unable to get open there. Full credit to the Colony defense, working really hard in a small space, denying that easy reset, forcing Permac into a long shot, and Todd Hill with it. Great aerial block. Colony coming out on defense again. Looking to power out to an early lead. Mammoth offense got to get into gear here, go make it happen. Throwing out a different line from before. Looks like Mammoth not playing strict O&D lines. Relying on a lot of their players to work on both sides of the disc and just do what needs to be done. We've got a lot of versatile throws, and we'll see how they spread their talent up and down. Very, very often appearing in the final of Australian Ultimate Championships. Mammoth generally pushing towards the top, usually making the semi-finals and making a really good push there, but having appeared only in the final only once. As McNaughton has the disc, goes around, finds Vo. Vo having most recently represented Australia as part of the Barramundi squad. The Australian mixed team in London 2018. Two of his teammates on that squad look like they've been involved in a collision there. We see Jimmy Todd Hill, also a Barramundi on that silver medal winning squad. Looked like a collision's happened in the stack here. Interesting to see Colony come out to an early lead. Mammoth not doing the traditional O-line D-line split, so not stacking all their star power on the offensive line. Pulling across some of their big guns like McNaughton.
to really add some firepower to their defensive line. Hopefully give them the ability to shoot and look long. Powerful throws being incredibly, incredibly valuable in this win. Pushing mostly left to right now. These teams looking largely untroubled so far. I think we'll more than likely see a lot of short ball, a lot of grinding undercuts, going right to left on your screen and going left to right, always threatening a very long, deep shot. There's a lot of powerful throwers and incredible athletes always looking for those grabs. Looks like we'll get this injury cleared up, substitutes on, and we'll get going again.
Hey, get ready, boys! Get ready! Come on! Come on!
Vo bringing the disc in for Mammoth. Get back to the action here. Mammoth looking for an early hold. Vo goes inside to Brown. Resets again. And the shot goes long. Vo's underneath it in the end. Oh, and Mark Weir's come under. The shot just didn't have the legs. It's dropped in. It's not done what he's needed it to there. Alex Leask, another of the under-24 goannas there. Looking long at an open man, but didn't have the distance. Kocho bringing the disc in for Colony. Looks for Petrov in a tight space, but Petrov making a great bid at it, having to take the grab and keep his toes in with defensive pressure on his back. It's a challenging grab, and he's unable to snatch that one up. McNaughton bringing the disc in, guarded by Kocher. McNaughton, a member of the silver medal winning Barramundis, having previously played in the States with Ring of Fire, guarded by Kocher, and is making life difficult for him. And that's just a miscued dump throw. He's looking for that extra back. English unable to connect with McNaughton. Great defense by Kocher. Colony with a chance to extend their lead here. They've got about half the field to work. Hodgson brings the disc in, finds Sutas in the center. Kocher around. In the center of the field now, Kocher looks wide. Finds Andrews. Back to Kocher in the center, getting every other. Looking to keep this offense calm and collected out the front. Andrews, Kocher again. Andrews up the line. He's got him there. Looks off Petrov on the cone. They're still threatening. Goes around to Kocher. Looks around again. And that's Sutas. And that is a clinical goal. Colony with a dump reset. Kocher getting open on every second pass. Doing what's got to be done. Doing the distribution. Doing the attacking. Changing the angle. Breaking the mark at will. And just walking that one in. Colony with a 3-0 lead. McNaughton unable to control Kocher there. Andrews providing that dual threat. It's a lot of effective break mark play from Colony. It's going to be interesting to see what the approach Mammoth take, whether they adjust their matchups looking to take star power out with star power, put their best player on Colony's best player, or if they're going to try a different defense, potentially a help set, some sort of zone, a more complex defense that can mitigate the impact of these individual stars on the Colony line. It'll be interesting to see what approach they take and whether the depth of this Colony squad can outlast any defensive adjustments that Mammoth might bring. Mammoth need to be holding their offense there, getting to keep themselves in this game. Letting Colony out to an early lead like this is going to put them in a really big hole. Later in the game, it's going to put a lot of pressure on them, force them to make something happen, and later in this game, it's going to be much, much more difficult. Time not an issue here. 100-minute games, plenty of time, but Colony scoring, get this straight, will reach 15 much before that. Mickle with the pull. Dropping nicely into the end zone. Fielded by Mammoth. Sent to Delia Cook. McGuckin out of the stack, but there's a pick. Mammoth playing out of a vertical stack here. Looking to do a lot of one-on-one isolation cutting. Cook goes around, finds McGuckin. He's got no one in the deep spaces yet. Fakes, holsters. Looks to Spielman wide, throws behind. Spielman just can't quite hold on to that one. Mikkel calls for calm. Gets Colony to walk to its setup. Stewart picks up the disc. Finds Paole on the open side. Paole looks over the top. Doesn't have the legs into the wind for Andrews. Mammoth, another shot at it. It's a bit of a gift for them. It's a very aggressive shot going almost directly into the wind. Mammoth get another crack. Looks like it's either go the other way. Elliot Cook with the disc here. Anchoring this Mammoth offense. Finds Gladish. Marked by Mikkel. Gladish floats one around. Sits nicely. Cook with a disc. Finds Permac. Not getting a lot of ground, but they're getting off every other reset here. Mammoth on the sideline, Gladish underneath it. Oh, and he's hopped that one in. It's tight, and there are a lot of contested throws there, but Mammoth squeezed that one in. 3-1. Stop the bleeding here. They've established themselves. They've got themselves on the board. A little bit of a gift from Colony, giving that one back to him, but you'll take it. Not a bad shot from Mugaka and Gladish in a paddock of space. Mikkel unable to get there. Colony slipping a little on this defense. Colony coming out on offense now. They've changed their lines up a bit for this tournament. They're missing a few key players. Both Tullett and Evans and Moore out with injury. 3 high-level players of Australian Ultimate, having played at the highest level for numerous years, and absolutely will be looking to make a huge impact on this Colony team when they head out to World Club Championships. Trusting their team to get it done here at the Australian Nationals without them. Why wouldn't you? What a roster. What a uniform club. They're completely in sync. Pull comes up from McAllister. Fielded by Daniel. Send it to Garfield. Garfield finds Shepherd. Shepherd goes to Mikkel up the line. He's got Kocher deep, and he floats one out. Kocher with the speed. Never worries. Colony, no pressure, no worries. That's another offensive hold. Colony 4-1. Mammoth need to be generating more pressure than that. Colony scoring at this rate with this level of ease. Game will rapidly get out of their hands here. It's going to be difficult. There's a lot of world-class players on this Colony squad, a lot of Australian and USA representative players. Just a beauty of a throw. Sitting nicely. It's like picking it up off a shelf. Kocher with the legs to get open there. Mammoth, really no answer for Kocher early in this game. Just doing all that's required of him on offense for Colony. Mammoth coming out here. They've got to make a statement. They've got to establish themselves as an offensive force in this game. If they're unable to really get rolling and really get their feet under themselves offensively, if they're battling and pushing and grinding through this Colony defense for the rest of the game, they're not going to be able to get themselves on defense enough. They're not going to be able to sustain themselves. They're not going to be able to close this gap. Colony looking quite in control of this game, but of course, there's a long way to go. Particularly if the wind picks up, things could change down the stretch. Andrews again coming out with a pull. It's going to be fielded by Grimmond, the captain of the under-24 Opens team. Colony come out with a change defense. This looks like a zone going. We've got Andrews guarding the deep space, Revi on the far right-hand side, and 4 other players up around the cup. So it's going to be interesting. We were just talking about letting them find a rhythm, and they've come out of transition set, taken Mammoth out of their plan A, and now they've transitioned to a match defense, forcing Mammoth to adjust early. Oh, and that's bought them a block. Bit of hesitation, bit of unsureness there, and Revi coming in for a screamer. Jimmy Tothill looks around. Oh, and that's Wee in the front of the end zone. Scores as when he needed to, and Colony using the transition set to come down, throw Mammoth off their plan A, force them to adjust, getting a bit of a hesitation there. Even that split second, Revi coming through, leaving his feet, punishing that half second of hesitation. Murphy unable to make the grab under pressure there. And Colony with a very efficient punish. Big around break from Todd Hill. Wee with a nice stable grab in the front of the end zone. A lot of fire on display here. Mammoth calling timeout. Need to stabilize Colony all over this game. Just as Mammoth look like they might be getting some momentum and getting something done, Colony have changed it up. Thrown something weird at them, and it's forced Mammoth to adjust, given the opportunity, half an opportunity even, just a sniff of doubt in that throw, and it was pounced on. Incredible athletic block from Harrison Revi, Sydney Uni player. Truly a rising star of the scene here in Australia. McNaughton giving some choice words to his squad in the Mammoth timeout. It's going to be interesting what sort of offensive adjustments they need to make. It's difficult to say what better defense they need to be playing if they can slow down this Colony offense. It won't make a difference unless they're able to start converting their offensive points. They've got to stop the bleeding here, otherwise Colony will just go on a massive run of breaks if Mammoth can't work out their offense. They've got the talent to make it happen. They've definitely got the personnel. Mammoth, of course, being formed out of the merger of a couple of different Queensland clubs quite a few years ago now. Firestorm and Slamtown coming together, and Mammoth changing up what they were and having quite a successful year immediately after, making the finals of the Australian Ultimate Championships, but unfortunately going down to heads of state a few years ago now. Mammoth haven't enjoyed that level of success subsequently, while Colony have been title winners with their 2 squads at Division 1 Nationals every year, except one in the past 10 or so years. Definitely a dominant force, and having 2 squads and providing themselves with a lot of high-level game time across the season is absolutely a benefit. This year they've split. This is their Ultimate and Club Championship squad, and the other squad, Pillage, formed mostly of players who are playing mixed at that tournament. Coming out on defense here, let's see if Mammoth can collect themselves after the timeout. They go wide. McAllister with the disc. Colony coming in that zone again. Back to Leask. Back to Vo. Not a lot of ground being gained. Mammoth showing a lot of patience here, but not making a lot of ground. Colony happy to let them dish the disc around, not gain anything. They don't look dangerous. They don't look like they're threatening here. They're just slowly losing ground. Mammoth need to start attacking this zone. It hasn't changed. Need to be working this out. At least threatening some bigs. Still resetting with McAllister and McIntyre. McAllister with a disc. Back to McIntyre. No holes opening up here, and not a lot of action coming inside the cup. Vo there, looking to shoot it through. Mammoth don't have a lot of threats outside of this cup zone. They've only got a couple of handlers, and Colony's happy to give them that reset. Daniel putting a tight mark on, and there's a lot of pressure building. They found McCallum. Look like they've broken out. Back to Leask in the center here. Back to Vo again. Mammoth are finally on the move, gaining some meters. Still taking their time here, Leask here. Leask fakes the big, and there you go. Colony have transitioned back into a one-on-one matchup. McAllister with a disc, looks long. He's got Vo underneath it. He's coming in the left. It's dropping early, but Vo with the read. He's going to get low there and take a nice grab, dig that one out of the ground. 5-2, Colony in the lead. That's a nice offensive point from Mammoth. Vo getting it done quite around the disc early, using his quick hands and speed to move it and make the cup adjust to him early, but it wasn't really until Colony transitioned into a match defense that they were able to make any sort of significant ground up the field. So it was to their credit that they're able to dump, dish, and reset, force that transition, and then look for that long shot. Colony can't be too displeased with that. They've definitely not allowed Mammoth to get comfortable, not allowed them to get into a rhythm. A lot of chances for a wayward throw, maybe a hand in there. A lot of chances for a block there. So not a bad defensive point by Colony, but great work by Mammoth to outlast and adapt to that and attack once the opening became available. Vo streaking deep out of that handler space. And with a great read on that disc, uncontested grab. Colony coming out with an extremely experienced offensive line here. All of these players with a significant amount of international experience. Multiple of these players having played with Colony at the previous World Ultimate Club Championships in Lecco in 2014, where that squad came fourth. Very impressive result there. Beating every team they came against that wasn't from the United States. They'll be looking to go a couple places better later this year. Looking to snag themselves a medal. Looking to push and prove themselves against the best in the world. They're definitely showing their class here this morning. It's good. We'd like to see them hold it up over the course of the full 100 minutes. It's Garfield. Brings the disc up to the brick mark. Mikkel opening in the lane, guarded by Spielman. Both World Games level players. Mikkel finds the open with a disc. Looks off the under, goes back to Garfield. Garfield fakes off Kocher in the lane. Mikkel takes up line. Still guarded by Spielman. Mikkel looks long, it's sailing left. Dan Gladish takes up early, this is second effort. Oh, and he sealed himself, Will. Ely, another member of the Australian Open's Dingoes team there, looking to make the grab. Gladish in the area, able to seal space, get that first block, and prevent Ely from making a second bid at it. It's great defense from Mammoth. Potentially an ill-advised shot in the wind. And they have a chance here. Elliot Cook with a disc. Looks to dump immediately, finds Spielman on the inside. But Kocher coming off his player with a read, gets in that lane, gets enough of a hand to it to make that not a grab. And Colony with only 3 meters to work. And Mammoth, all their hard work undone here. Mikkel with a disc, Kocher in the front line. Back to Garfield. Patience here. Shepherd with the speed, above the head grab, and that is 6-2. Colony streaming out to an early lead here. Mammoth trying to keep himself in the game, getting a good block there, but really unable to convert, unable to make any meters after that. Kocher with a great read, a great hand on that disc, forcing that block. It's great defensive effort by Gladish. Pretty close there. Spielman and Kocher both coming in extremely fast to that space. Both doing well to avoid contact. Shepherd, as always, safe hands front of the end zone. Yet another member of the Australian Opens team represented on this Colony squad. Mammoth in Nancy here. Coming out on offense, and they're looking quite threatening. They've got a couple of points in, but they haven't been really able to penetrate or score with the ease that Colony's been doing. Colony's been putting a lot of pressure on their offense, and a lot of things have come tight. Let's see if they can improve. Andrews with an incredible bladey pull, rolls down and lies. McNaughton fields to McAllister, back to McNaughton. Colony coming out of the zone again. McNaughton with a disc in the center. Up the line there. McIntyre with the disc. Colony transitioning into a match defense. Back to McNaughton. Mammoth showing a very strong line here. McNaughton with a disc. McAllister in the deep space. And can't make the grab, and had a couple meters of separation on his player, but that's a costly mistake for Mammoth. Colony haven't been giving them the disc back easily. Blocks have come in a very tight press, so to just give away a disc like that is what they can't be doing. Stewart brings it in for Colony. He's got Andrews taken off deep. Store count's coming high, and the shot goes up, sailing in the wind. Coming back into the end zone, so the disc will come in back there, but a bit of a desperation shot from Colony. Credit to the dump defense, unable to get off that reset. McIntyre bring the disc in here. Colony will hold their one-on-one match defense they've been playing. Mammoth setting up on a horizontal stack. This is much more traditional defense. They'll be looking to attack quickly and efficiently off the start here. But already they're in trouble. Resets to McNaughton, but there's not a lot of options for him to shoot to. Someone needs to be going there. He's found McCallum in that under space. McCallum looks long. He's got Leask under it. Oh, and the bid comes late. He's not able to reel that one in. It's a challenging shot. His receiver was open, but he would have had to sit that well. Colony with yet another chance here. Mammoth unable to hold on to the disc, giving away cheaply. Stewart finds Petrov. Petrov looks off the long, looking for a break shot. Finds Todd Hill in the center. Fakes the dish. Back to Petrov. Back to Andrews. Colony playing disciplined, taking their time. Andrews with the disc. Finds Hodgson. Hodgson goes up, finds Sutas. Sutas knocking on the door here. Fakes off Petrov on the cone. Hodgson with the grab. Waited to run in there, assert himself in that space, put his toes down. No defenders in sight. Colony 7-2, an absolute chokehold on this game. Mammoth getting an occasional good block. They're getting in there with their one-on-one matchups, but they can't make any ground on offense. They're not able to get into flow and get some shots coming. Not feeling comfortable working these unders and hitting those safe shots and grinding those cuts. Having to take a couple big shots nice and early and just not connecting on them. Colony doing a great job of forcing them into lower percentage options, taking them out of their comfort zone. And Mammoth not responding so far. Colony looking to take half here, earn themselves yet another break, and then a little 5-minute rest. Mammoth looking to keep themselves in the game. They want to keep Colony on the field. The offensive team for Colony is just breezing through their defense. They need to, at the very least, start slowing them down. And then we can start getting some blocks. But at the moment, Colony offense is running roughshod over them, making their life very tough. And the Mammoth offense just isn't having that same ease of play, not able to generate the same sort of separation and not connecting on those deep shots. Mickle bricks the pull. Looking to build a house out here. Permac brings the disc in on the brick mark and they move it quickly. Colony playing a 3-person zone up front. They've got an additional defender in that short space as Murphy gets the disc wide. Back to Permac. Moving in the center, McGuckin has the disc, guarded by Mickle. Patience here, goes around, finds Murphy. They look long. Permac can't reel that one in, but it looks like there might have been a call on the play. Disc will come back. Murphy with the disc here. Knocking on the door. Mammoth need to convert here. They need to get separation in a small space. It's Brown with the disc. Goes wide, finds Grimmond. Grimond dishing and going. Moves it up the field, threats to their front corner. Permac with a disc, bumped by Todd Hill. Permac goes around. It's a good reset from Mammoth. They need to be able to effectively attack the break side after moving the disc to the center there. These colony marks are right on the heel, and it means they're able to set a mark and deny the initial round straight away. Mammoth gets the open side. Mickle patrolling that front corner. Resets around to Grimond, but continuation cut comes late, but it's nice and wide. Mammoth attacking now. Grimond outstretched, reaching around for that one. Contact on the mark, and the disc will come back to Grimond. Garfield setting the mark. Grimond just out the front, looking to use his arsenal of throws to sneak one in. Oh, and that is well hopped. He's taking that. That's McGuckin hopping that one in, giving him those extra meter that couldn't quite get with their cuts and with their throws. But it doesn't have to be pretty, just has to work, and that's 7-3 Mammoth. They're moving themselves within striking distance here, but that offense didn't look easy. If they can get comfortable, though, maybe get a couple more scores on the board, they'll build a bit of momentum, bit of confidence under their offensive line here, maybe enable them to make something happen, take a bunch of shots and connect on them. At the moment, they're having a lot of difficulty finding those unders, but they did a great job of attacking that wide break space off the back of Grimond and the other Mammoth handlers, getting around the mark and using that space there. Colony coming out on offense there, so Mammoth with a chance to throw something different at them, see if they can slow them down. This Colony offense line has looked largely untroubled, all uncontested passes and really nice deep shots thus far, so Mammoth need to change the pace, they need to do something different. Colony's got a great read on this defense. Their one-on-one match is not working for them thus far. McAllister with a pull. Dropping short, blading in. Fielded by Garfield, centers to Norton. Goes back to Garfield. Oh, and that's an unforced error there. It goes into the ground in front of Kocher. This is an opening for Mammoth here. This is the kind of opportunity they've been hoping for, that they've been looking for. A rare Colony mistake. McNaughton brings the disc in. Goes to McAllister. Back around to McNaughton. Looking to shoot here, hasn't got an option. Goes around to Brown. Finds McAllister in the dump space. McAllister inside, McNaughton. He's got to Hollander open the deep, doesn't take the shot. Goes around, looks on the line, he's got Brown. Makes the bid, but can't take the grab on the disc there. That's a sharp blading pass from McNaughton, but it was dropping in front of Brown. He's made a great bid at there. He's just got to close his hands around the disc. Colony get the disc back, and they're back on offense. Garfield doesn't throw to Shepherd. Resets to Norton. Back to Garfield. Mammoth employing a poach in the lane, looking to stop this early break. Garfield goes around to a bidding Kocher. Kocher up the line to Mickle. Mickle with a player deep. He looks long. He's got Ely and Shepherd. And Shepherd with the read and the pace. Mickle puts it out in front. All Shepherd has to do is pump those getaway sticks and get down there. Easy grab in the end zone. Colony take half, 8-3. A truly dominant first half. Mammoth's offense never looking comfortable, never looking like they were going to punch through this defense. And the Colony offense, with only a couple of turns, and able to get him back every time. It's been all Colony this first half. They're going to take a break now, chill out and see what they can bring going into the second half. See if Mammoth has got to come out with something different. We've got to make a big change here. Small adjustments don't look to be working for them at the moment. We'll leave you with a short break, and we'll be back after halftime.
That's the guy.
house party win.
He's in a great spot.
Now.
He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play,
back
but we
with
have
the
seen
chase.
none of it. Finney, he's done it.
Sleep in a sea of shoebox. I'm just so lonely, baby. I don't know how to do it, babe. I just keep on talking to myself. Feels like I'm going insane. Sniffing harder and harder, staining clothes in the mud, joining hands with the joke, sweep truth under the rug. Keep one eye on the future, the other in the past. My third eye on the meaning, and my fourth on her ass. All these girls gonna kill me. Think I better make up my mind. All these girls gonna kill me. Think I better make up my mind. Isabella, don't you
Welcome back to the second half of this Day 2 matchup here between Sydney's Colony Plunder and Brisbane's Mammoth. This has been all Colony in this first half. Mammoth unable to get their legs under them on offense. I'm joined here with my co-commentator, Gus McDonald. How are you doing this morning?
Good, thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me.
No worries. It's my pleasure to have expert insight and analysis in the booth here. I think you might want to see if we can give us some tips and see if you've got any unsolicited advice for Mammoth and how they can get themselves back into this game.
I love telling Mammoth what to do, so yeah, hopefully that's a job I can fulfill there for you, Rob.
Absolutely, dude. The story of the game thus far is that the Colony offense has come out and scored in just a few passes. Their athleticism getting them a lot of separation and working really, really well in their systems. The Mammoth defense not getting a lot of field time at the moment. Their offense can't quite get it together and can't quite get rolling, so they're not getting a lot of chances to play defense.
Yeah, that's definitely the Colony style. I'm playing for Pillage. We've been matching up against them, twice a week. Their offensive structure is pretty efficient, pretty well worked as well, very well drilled. So I imagine we'll see a lot of that this half.
Yeah, it's definitely been a style of late of the high-level Australian teams to play very efficient offense. More passes, more chances for a turn. So just get everything out of the way and score as quickly as you can. Make the other team play for a long time. Brown fields a disc for Mammoth. Coming out and off its second half, and that's an early turn.
At least puts it down under the pressure from Stewart, former Mammoth boy, and there's a bit of a discussion. That's what we like to see.
Let's have a chat about it, and
it's going to be an uncontested foul. That's my hot take.
I think it affected the outcome. I think it should go back to the throw. But I would have got it in my hand and it affected the outcome. So I touched it. Because I did foul him, but he still dropped it. I think it was still going to be like a 50-50 whether he was going to catch it.
If you believe it didn't affect the play, it probably should go back to the thrower. Oh, so it did affect the play, then it probably should stay here where it is. Yep.
That's great clarification from our game advisor. That'll be an uncontested foul. Disc will stay with Lisk. Mammoth did a bit of a getting away with one there, but it's a lot of pressure coming from this Colony defense. Mammoth need to do something differently here, but they're still playing out of this same side stack. Everyone pushed left, and McCallum isolated in the lane. Andrews patrolling that lane, not letting any open cuts come, and there's a contest. The shot goes up. Colony's all over it.
Todhill and Sutas closest to the disc. Both leave it for Stewart to pick up. Surprised Jimmy didn't pick it up, actually.
It's doing a lot for this squad. Just, playing a lot of defense here. Stewart fakes off the around to Andrews. Andrews having a big impact defensively at that point, leaving his player and then coming out into the lane and just stifling all of those open cuts from Mammoth, forcing that big shot over the top, and then just Colony defenders all over it.
Lisk and Stewart at it again in a bit of a call battle early in the point.
It's good to have a chat. Yeah. Stewart resets to Todhill. Todhill looking to gain some ground here. Stewart unable to get open, finds Revi in a small space. Colony not gaining a lot of ground here, looking more under pressure than they have this game. And his shot goes up, it's sailing, and it's just past Andrews. You could see him with that outstretched arm calling for the disc late in the count, but the shot, I think, went unexpectedly far, especially going into the wind. It's definitely a lot of pressure on the Colony offense. It's great to see from this Mammoth defense, really getting some spark under them. Brown with the disc. Finds it, goes inside, finds Vo, strong grab. Vo goes back to Brown on the sideline here, guarded by Andrews.
Oh.
Brown goes around.
It's a nice throw.
Absolutely, well pulled up by McAllister. McCallum on the far sideline, no mark. Oh, when he goes around. Oh, and that's just dropping at the feet of Brown. He's unable to reel that one in. They're really throwing him a lot of garbage. He's had a couple of low grabs up front the end.
It's up in the air, Petrov underneath it. Oh, he's read it the best. It drops hard in the wind. It hits Revi quickly. Powley loitering around the end zone. Grabs, hits Jimmy. Where's that lefty? Petrov now on the doorstep. Hits Andrews, and that's a goal.
Absolutely, they've done it again. Andrews unstoppable. He's beaten his defender to the cone multiple times this game. He's guarded by McAllister, one of the more powerful players on this Mammoth squad, but they just can't seem to stop him getting open to that cone.
No, and the big hoof from Andrews as well early in the point, as we see now. Just Petrov had plenty of steps, but did well to come under hard. Nice little layout for the camera there. The old club catch layout.
Got to make sure of it. Don't worry about breaking your wrist. Great patience by Colony, working in this corner here. Happy to take whatever goals come. Not too concerned about swinging it wide, but trusting their athleticism and foot placement. That close to the line. And Andrews just unguardable.
Well worked point there from Colony.
And that's another timeout called. Mammoth desperately searching for answers here. Colony just 9-3, extending this lead. Mammoth only able to get 1 in every 3 points. If you're the Mammoth captain, Gus,
yeah,
what are you saying in this circle here?
I've thought about it a lot. I've thought a lot about leading Mammoth. Look, I think you just need to say, this is our home turf, you know, this is our home state. We know these conditions. Let's dial in our execution a little bit.
Absolutely. I think it'll make it easier for them. And of course, New South Wales and Queensland, an age-old rivalry. I think they just need to tap into some of that 8 straight vibe.
8 straight. Yeah. For sure. I mean, they've got the legs, they've got the height, they've got the throws. They just need to bring it all together against this this strong Colony outfit. And just rattle them a bit, you know? You know, Colony just on a roll. They need to disrupt their momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. Colony just look comfortable. They look like they're in control. They know what they're doing. They don't look out of position. Look like they're getting their plan A every time. I would really like to see some different defenses from Mammoth late in this game. On all match with some slight adjustments, you know, straight up force or poaching the lane. But I'd like to see something totally wacky and wild. At the very least, keep the Colony offensive team on the field for some time. Make them throw a bunch of passes. They've gotten 1 unforced error out of Colony so far, but they're going to need to either get more of those or really generate some blocks, and unforced errors don't come out of this Colony squad very much.
What do you think about the depths of these two teams, Rob? Do you think Mammoth have a lot of players, but do you think Colony has the depth?
This is interesting. I think the Colony team obviously has a lot of star power at the top, but every other player seems to have represented Australia or their country on this team. There's a lot of under 24 stars filling out the ranks here, so don't think there's any weak links in this Colony team. It's very, very hard to find a chink in the armor here. Mammoth, obviously a bigger squad, not quite as many international representatives, but they're led strongly. See, they might need to be leaning a bit more on their stronger players to sort of get their confidence under them, and then, you know, once they've got rolling, once they've got a bit of momentum, then they can start to get some of their lower string players involved later in this game. But it's not the system they're going for at the moment. They're still playing quite even lines. There's a good balance, hoping they're not looking to, you know, go too hard and too strong a line and then not have any star power later.
Big pull from Andrews. That's a nice sharp blade. Well fielded though, at the back there by Cook. And a zone look here from Colony. They love this zone. Let's look out for the fake man call. Oh.
Cook to Spielman down the line. This is the best they've looked so far. And that one's flipped into the end zone. That's what Mammoth are looking for.
That's a nice quick score there for Leask.
That's what they're looking for. That's the kind of offense they want to be playing. They didn't look troubled by that Colony zone. The Colony zone, quite good at changing up the pace of a game and forcing them to slow down, but they're really just able to blaze through that one, get whatever they like. To really nice break pass from Cook to go down the sideline. Spielman in space.
Yeah, just need more of those aggressive throws. I saw in the first half, Mammoth were getting stuck in their end zone a little bit, looking to just sort of dink it around. Just need a nice strong around like Cook produced there.
Yeah.
Get the offense moving.
It's good to see. You might think that it would be difficult to sort of attack the zone with their throws in this sort of windy conditions, but they won't have any luck doing it with their legs and just sort of crashing into the cup. So Mammoth doesn't leave them with a lot of options except to go down the line, and Cook's executed very, very well there.
So that's what Mammoth needed, really. They needed a nice, easy offensive score to now turn it on D. A relatively strong D-line out there.
Absolutely.
The likes
FTA's
of-
male player of the year.
That's right, Rob de Hollander. One of the biggest beards going around. Grimmond as well, Leask, J-Mac. It's a huge line.
Yeah. If they're going to get a break, it's got to be now. And I think this is a great response from Mammoth to give it everything they got on this line. That's a great pull. So it's dropping in the end zone, rolling out the back. So Colony would bring it in from static on the line here.
Looks a little bit poachy around the head. Yeah, no, I'm going to call a zoney look.
Yeah, McIntyre and English, the two players up around the disc there, trying to change things up, and this is good to see from Mammoth. They've taken the opportunity here. It's Garfield, resets to Norton. Back to Garfield, Colony playing patient here. Goes wide, Mickle with the disc. It's a dangerous throw for this Colony squad. Back to Garfield. Back to Norton. 3 cannons at the back here. They're constantly threatening, but Mammoth doing a great job of closing out those shots early.
Let's move to man downfield. They're still poaching around the handlers.
Back to Garfield, Mickle with the disc. You can hear those thrower calls from the sideline. Mammoth adjusting well. And that's a wayward throw. Mickle has gone over the head of Garfield and has gone out the sideline.
Caught in the wind. Mammoth on the doorstep. Oh!
And that is not a good throw.
Oh, turn. Oh, foul call. Yeah, it looked like there was a bit of contact from behind.
Yeah, English just so hasty.
Contest, that's fine.
So English getting hasty, looking for that first option, but Shepherd right on the heels of McAllister, and that throw just behind him, and then the contact occurring there. So English has to have patience here. Mammoth cannot afford to waste this opportunity.
6, 7, 8. Kelly, catch it.
So McNaughton going up the line there, and purely in his way. I think McNaughton reckons that Ely was in the space that he was in and pushing into him. Ely reckons he got there first, so bit of bump on the cut.
Stalling 6.
Looks like that'll be contested. Stalling 6.
3, 2, 1.
Count's getting high for Mammoth here. The pressure's on. Reset to McNaughton. That's where they need to be.
Scuba over the top. Oh my goodness.
All right.
Visionary from McNaughton.
That's what they're looking for here. Kochu is staying quite wide down that lane. Really ready to block that wide around throw. McNaughton, the lefty, hit that flick around all the time, but that big scuba over the top, just dropping in. And at least he knows that's coming.
It's a courageous throw. 5'9". Quick break for Mammoth. That's exactly what they needed.
Yeah, they've done well to capitalize. It's an uncharacteristic error from Colony there, giving away the disc cheaply on their own end zone line, and got a bit close, and there are a couple of calls, but that's an uncontested grab.
Yeah.
Great spike, great punish from Mammoth.
Leaskin acres. Absolute paddock out there.
Absolutely.
Back corner in the end zone.
Yeah, Kocher with a nice little poach, getting ready to block that floaty around, but McNaughton, great throwing skill to just drop it in there. No defender anywhere in sight.
Now Colony, bit of a pressure on their O-line. It's exactly the same as the point before.
Yeah, they're going to make it happen here. This is interesting. This is the first time they've looked pressured. Mammoth are feeling good about this one, but they did have to send out a very strong line to make that happen. They had all of their best defenders and most of their best throwers on that line. So it's going to be interesting to see if their depth can hold them out and potentially earn them another block here. Denya sends us to Garfield. Garfield looks around. Kocher takes under pressure from McGuckin. Shepherd takes under pressure. A lot of grabs, a lot of pressure here coming from Mammoth. This is much better defense. Denya with the disc. Finds Mickle on the sideline. Mickle floats it out.
Lovely.
Shepherd unguardable. That's it. Colony's just responded. I mean, Mammoth can take positives out of that. There were a couple of good bids. They looked like there were a bunch of contested catches there. It didn't come easily for them.
Yeah, we said this great attempt. It's a great layout from McGuckin. Oh, you got to say, anyone but a USA World Games player, that would have been a pretty good chance of a D.
Absolutely. Full credit to both of them.
Shepard did well as well. So Colony just finding their composure again on that point. Looked pretty slick, like a hot knife through butter, except for the occasional layout attempt from Mammoth.
Yeah, I think like Mammoth did what they could. Really like put much more pressure on. So even if they didn't get a block there, it was much better defense than we've seen from them so far. So if their offensive line can go and get them a chance to go out there and go play defense again, then, you know, maybe get their legs under them and mainly try and find a block. Colony aren't going to give them this cheaply again. It's not their style.
10-5. All to play for.
Colony's game to lose at this point. Obviously, if they keep trading from here, they'll go in with a comfortable lead to win the game. But Mammoth are looking a bit more fired up in this second half. Let's see if it translates. Something happening on field. Andrews with the pull. Fielded well by Brown. Up to McAllister. Mammoth look good here. Oh, the shot goes long. Leask is under it. It's gone long. Oh, and it's just out of the reach of Leask.
Too many wheat picks. Too many wheat picks. Stewart in pursuit. Wasn't really close to him, so if that had been a more favourable throw, that would have been a goal there for Mammoth. A quick score, which is what they really wanted.
Absolutely. They need to just punch in their offense and give themselves opportunities. But McAllister putting a lot of pace on that one and the wind helping it out, going left to right.
Sutas is in isolation. No one's followed him deep. Oh, but Tivo gets the D in the middle of the field. Great heads-up D there from Vo.
Yeah, screaming in front of his Barramundi's teammate, Todd Hill. Punishing there. So tight vertical stack from Mammoth. McAllister in isolation. McNaughton with a disc. Stewart.
Wee marking him. Can he get there? Yes, he can. Catches it on the chest. Hits Stewart. Oh, it's a tough throw. And it's going to go. It's not going to float, though. But Sutas got pretty close. He's a fast boy, Benny Sutas.
Yeah, it looked like he took a couple slow steps. Didn't expect that one to be coming.
Mammoth quickly on the offensive. Lovely blade there from J-Mac. With McCallum now on the sideline.
McAllister with the disc. Slowed down now. They're playing patient out the front. McNaughton has it here, and he's gone to Scuba over the top again.
Oh, we definitely in the vicinity. Can't quite get a hand to it.
All right, McCallum with a disc. Mammoth making a game of it now, getting some points on the board. McNaughton there, a little too tricky on that first opportunity.
Yeah, McNaughton is trusty Scuba. Might come back to haunt him later in the game.
Amazing block from Vo. It's great field vision.
Ooh. Yeah, just looked a bit lazy in the end there from J-Mac. But turned out okay for them.
Yeah, got it back, a bit of a miscue. Stewart looking long and Sutas not quite ready for it. Pale not quite on his bike yet. He's a big boy, takes a little time to get up to speed.
That's right. Oh, but when he's there, jeez.
Takes him 2.5 fields to slow down.
Hey, Mo.
So that's all right. I don't think Colin will be rattled too much by this. It's still 10-6 their lead, but Mammoth will be excited. This is where they want to be. They've now put themselves in a position where they can attack this game. They're getting on defense now, and they're going to see if they can manufacture a block here. Got a lot of goannas on this line. Grimmond, Cook, McGuckin, stars of that team, and Spielman, selected for the World Games roster.
Nice rip.
Drops in a pool, fielded by Denya. Up to Mickle. Ely's gone deep. Kocher free on the under. Centers to Norton. Up to Shepard. A lot of uncontested takes here from Colony. Spielman marking Mickle, doing his best. Garfield with a disc here. Goes wide to Norton. Oh, lovely high flick on the inside.
Standing shot there from Norton. With caution now. Hits his USA buddy, Jimmy Mickle.
Manages to get free in a small space. Spielman switches off to Kocher. Not quite close enough. Can't quite get around in time. And Kocher and Mickle, really a dynamic duo in that small space there. Spielman making life tough, but got switched off Mickle, tried to switch on to Kocher, and Mickle was able to slot it in the small space right at the end there.
It's just nice to watch, isn't it? Those USA boys working together. So fast.
It's the big first step, and it's a great read. Spielman is expecting Kocher to go all the way up the line there, so he takes a couple steps off, but then isn't quite back in time to guard the inside, and Kocher with the easy flip for a goal. Colony offense still looking untroubled. 8-6, 11-6.
Yeah, 11-6, Colony looking in a pretty good position. And now a lot of pressure on the Mammoth offense to punch this one in.
Yeah, they're not tightening their lines too much. You can still see a lot of other players on this squad getting a run.
Yeah, a lot of variation.
Yeah, I think that's one of the keys of this Mammoth squad. They've got a lot of different players, and it offers them a lot of versatility, but doesn't mean they're playing their best players all the time. So be interesting to see how these individual matchups go. Colony, of course. Nothing but stars.
Nothing but stars.
Andrews with a ripper.
Huge rip. But it's going to sail out, I think, for a brick. If I'm not mistaken. Oh, geez, I was nearly mistaken. Glad I didn't bet too much money on that. Mammoth to bring it in at the brick. These brick marks I've found on these fields so far are quite far up. It's quite a blow to pull a brick.
Yeah, really, really punishing that full third of the field. They're just, particularly going left to right here, just opens up that deep shot, makes that really easy to start.
With a horror look.
McIntyre with this now, goes wide to Lease, kind of pressure. Stewart playing close.
Stewart and Lease, it's a great battle, isn't it?
Absolutely. Leask off the races, McAllister with a disc, but McCallum taking up that deep space.
Lovely round shot.
Resetting there, Brown with the disc.
Mammoth feeling the heat, feeling Mark Evans' woohoo-hoos on the sideline as well.
Reset there, Brown fakes the hammer. McIntyre with the disc, sees Lease in space. Elects not to shoot. We got it well up the line, resets to McAllister.
Good swoop there from Petrov to stop that around.
Oh, the massive hammer goes out. Leask is in the area, but Andrews on his heels pushed him under the disc.
It's a great throw in this wind. Strong throw, brave throw from McCallum. McAllister? McAllister. Andrews with the disc now. Messy stack. Todd Hill drifts deep.
So just pulled out into this break side isolation.
Yeah, he's just going to drift deep.
Resets wide to Stewart, and Stewart can't get the continuation off the Todd Hill. Mammoth knocking on the door here. Let's see if they can convert the first time here. It'll be McIntyre bringing the disc in here, and Mammoth have previously tried to be a little bit tricky and shot themselves in the foot, but we've got Lee Scout in isolation. We coming out to double team, which is nice. Reset to Brown. It's good patient play. Needs to move that disc though. Goes over the top and finds McAllister. Well, that's what Mammoth are looking for. It's 11-7. They're in striking distance here. That's great work from Mammoth. They'll be amped about that one.
Yeah, a bit of a blow for the Colony D to, get the block and then turn it over quite cheaply on their own end zone.
Yeah. There's been a couple of those that looked a little bit more shaky later in this game, but their offense is still coming out looking strong, so not too much of a worry, but it's encouraging for Mammoth.
That was a scuba, Rob. I thought it was a backhand. Scuba.
Wow.
Disc was upside down.
Truly incredible. What elite level throwers. It spins so fast you can't even see which way it's up.
Yeah. 7-11.
Mammoth putting out a very strong line here. Grimman, Guckin, McAllister, Norton, Murphy, Spielman and Permack. All players that have done a lot for Mammoth this game. Really been leaning on a lot of these players to make a lot of their shots and just be able to get open. So they're really putting all their chips on getting to break here. And this is the time.
This is the time. This is the time. 11-8 is a very different scoreline. Yeah, that's a real game on our hands. Spielman with a huge rip.
Lovely. Dropping in right at the end, fielded by Denya up to Norton. Colony coming out with a split pair in the open lane and stack on the side. Ely gets the under. Goes around to Denya. Denya taking his time. Flips it inside.
Oh, great grab from Ely under the pressure from Spielman. It's Mika with the disc now.
Goes White. Kotcher
cool.
on the inside. Looks like they have a chat. That was a sniff there.
Yeah, Spielman not far away at all.
Yeah,
Really to make
that was
Ely
probably
work for it.
the most stagnant the Colony offense has looked in a while. Shepherd with a disc now.
Oh, Spielman with another sniff.
Yeah,
Ely's done well.
yeah, Ely, he's just getting what he wants. Spielman really unable to contain him. Spielman's definitely got a few inches on him, got a bit of height, but Ely just working quick, using his pace to get out in front.
Denya just popped it over the top. Oh my goodness. That is an outstanding grab from Ely. Full extension, shoulder high towards the frisbee.
Spielman just caught on the wrong side of Ely late in the game here. Really gave everything he had there, but Ely with just too much separation.
And Colony retained their 5-goal buffer.
Yeah, it's got to be punishing for Mammoth if you pull your chips out like that, really stack a line and try and get a block and just not really able to get too much. Had that one sniff at it, but Ely getting what he wants.
So it's 12-7.
Mammoth coming out in offense here. Got a little bit of the wind at their backs. They haven't been converting with their early deep shots so far, so interesting to see whether or not they take it. Colony have been heavily guarding those underlooks, coming out in the lane and just getting in the way. So leaving some deep looks open and see if Mammoth takes the bait.
Nice try from Rob. Good rundown as well from Colony. On about their end zone line, Mammoth.
Brown with the disc, looking around for his dump. Goes to McIntyre, back to Brown.
Leask and Stewart still in that tussle downfield.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's the
T-Bag's
disc.
going to put it. Andrews helps out. Oh, but Leask gets it.
That's an
Andrews
unbelievable grab.
Completely misread that one. Leask comes away with the disc. Vo gets the stat. I think McCallum wanted it for an easy under in the middle, but he can't be unhappy with the result.
Why throw unders when you can just throw goals?
That's what I always say, Rob. I always say that.
And that's a good offense from Mammoth. That was really nice. They had a player open in the back, and Leask has just read that perfectly. Vo, a very strong thrower, and he's just angled that really nicely. So Stewart didn't have a play, and Andrews is forced to go very early. He's done very well to avoid contact there. He's come under the disc and trying to use his arms to get in the way rather than putting a body on.
2 swipes at it there, Andrews. Leask comes away with it. That's a great grab.
All right, let's see what Mammoth can bring here. It's 12-8.
Have to bring the heat. You're going to have to bring it now.
Absolutely. They've only got a couple more shots at this. At this rate, if they keep trading, Colony will just take it out to a comfortable win.
And the wind has just picked up a little bit. Just a little grass test here. It's going left to right on your screen.
Yeah, you'd hope a late gust of wind to make offense hard and give the Mammoth defense some luck here, but it's going to Colony's favor. Daniel fields a disc, finds Garfield in the middle.
It's a poachy look.
Kocher free in the lane. Yet again, no option to throw to. Ely coming under, guarded by McGuckin. Resets to Garfield, to Shepherd. Shepherd around to Mickle. Mickle looking at the end zone.
He's up now. Garfield can't get free, so he puts it around to Norton. Oh. It's very similar to the last point, a high release flick with Spielman getting a sniff off the front of the stack.
We have a chat about it. Looked like they were coming into space. There was definitely some contact, but Spielman will probably looking to say he was there and had his arm around first, and then Shepherd came into his right-hand side.
I didn't have a clear perspective, so.
So then I went forward and you came across. I went straight though. I didn't go that way. I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's definitely contact.
Yeah, but like you were in front.
Contact and a drop, I think, is my assessment, but I'm not sure what the outcome should be.
Yeah, I think they'll say if the contact caused him to drop it,
Uncontested.
yeah. It's great spirit by Spielman. There's a couple of different perspectives, and they're saying that Shepherd had the space first and Spielman came into him, so they'll stay with Shepherd. He'll marshal this Colony offense out front of the end zone. Immediately goes around to Kocher.
Oh.
And then Kocher around again to
Lovely
Ely.
round break to Ely.
Mammoth just not able to get that mark on. Amazing throws from this Colony line. Just going around and around, holding out to 13-8.
Yeah, Mammoth really going to need a break. So, Colony O-line's looking very strong. By that one Mickle throwaway earlier in the game. Looked pretty strong this half. Pretty unbreakable.
Absolutely. Unlike these Mammoth marks, as we can see here.
Yeah.
Having a real hard time. So, Mammoth not really getting some sniffs at the blocks. Spielman involved in there and just getting around and seeing some stuff happen, but not quite close enough. Obviously, the Shepherd matchup, a very, very difficult one. He's got a lot of pace and he's going to get his body in the right space at the right time. Spielman unable to take that space first and just a bit of contact, but points for trying there. That's where you need to be. You got to be in the area. You got to be close before you get him clean. Colony coming out on D here. Really looking to ice this game with a couple of breaks as Andrews gets NASA to track that one, and that's well out of the field. Andrew assigning blame to Mickle, seems only fair. It's Mammoth bring it in on the brick mark here. So Mammoth with not that far to work and an early block opportunity, but Grimmin with a grab. Unreal possession saver. Goes back to McNaughton and McAllister, and Mammoth is stabilizing here, but that was close. McAllister again with the hammer and just out of the reach of Grimmin. Andrews with the disc here. Finds Todhill on the inside. Todhill finds Petrov, looks on the inside, and it's just over the head of Sutas. Sutas unable to grab that one, put a lot of pressure on Grimmin before. He's not getting the best of that matchup. Norton looks over the top and throws it straight to Revi. It's not the kind of consistency we're looking for late here. Wee with a disc, Todhill with a disc, Colony off to the races. Looking a lot of pressure here, looking to ice the game. Todhill goes wide to Andrews. Andrews back around to Mickle, no mark on. McAllister comes to the mark late. Mickle can't find Andrews. Giving a lot of patience, and Andrews getting a leading pass late. Petrov on the cone. Revi coming in, but looked off. And looks like a timeout call from Andrews there. Potentially a tough option. Can they establish themselves as an elite team? Of course, as we all know, 4 out of 5 on-field timeouts, resulting in a turnover. Only the most elite of teams can put themselves in that 1 out of 5 position, and Colony have shown themselves to be of that caliber thus far. Can they buck the stats? Andrew's a very powerful thrower as well as an incredibly capable receiver. It's the kind of hands you want it in right up front of the end zone. Mickle in the dump space, so they've got a lot of options here, but Mammoth ready to make a stand. They've got some time to set up, put themselves in exactly the defensive position that they're looking to be in. They've got to get a block here. There's good defensive pressure to make the count get this high and make Colony throw this many passes, but they've got to be able to turn it into a block. Colony will look to set up a guaranteed shot, potentially a little thrower-initiated option. Something undefendable, but Mammoth have got the read, so it's a little bit of rock, paper, scissors coming out of a timeout, and who's got the better read on the play and who can anticipate the defense. Andrews to the disc. Floats one out. Mickle in the area, but Norton with the read. Up to Leask. Leask looks long and lets it fly. He's got McGuckin on the end. Oh, but Petrov sealing the space. Getting into the area. Couple of slow steps from McGuckin. I thought he thought that one was going to pop up or drop at him. Didn't quite have the length, and Leask just all the pace in the world of that one, and Petrov leaving nothing up to chance, sealing the space early. He knows he's got around a teammate. McGuckin has got those leaps. He's going to take those grabs, so he's gotten the space early and sealed him out from the disc. Colony with another chance. Mammoth looking all right, but some turnovers here. As there's a call, Lisk and Wee with a bit of contact in the lane. Wee happy to keep going. Lisk calling the stoppage. Colony moving again now. Mickle marshalling his offense. Sutas with the disc, marked by Vo. Looks off Petrov on the inside. He's looking for Mickle going up the line there. McNaughton right on his heels. There's been a lot of discussion lately about contact in the Australian ultimate scene, so it's interesting to see the adjustments that the teams have made coming into the national championships, if they're going to be doing anything differently. As Mammoth take an injury sub and Colony match them with the substitution that they are also entitled to. McNaughton still drawing this Mickle matchup. Let's see if he can make an impact. Mickle looks off the early long shot. Sutas not open in the dump space. Todd Hill takes the diving grab to save possession. Goes immediately around to Kocher. He's got Wee off the back. Finds Mickle. McNaughton doing his best. Mickle getting a lot of disc here. Kocher back to Mickle. Mickle shoots. He's got Andrews on the end, but McAllister with the read. That's the block they're looking for. McNaughton forced Mickle into an early decision. Maybe 5–10% off on that throw, and that's enough for McAllister to get the read and get the block. McNaughton jogging in the disc here, looking at him take something early. Finds McAllister in the center. He's got Lee's get Petrov with an unbelievable block coming over the shoulder. Getting the disc back for Colony. Short field to work. Todd Hill with a disc. Centers to Kocher. Got him by McNaughton. looks inside, finds Mickle. That's a diving mark from McGuckin. Back to Andrews. Colony playing disciplined here, not forcing any shots. Andrews looking for Kocher. Kocher on the break side. McNaughton with a diving mark, but leaves Kocher open for the break throw, and he finds Mickle in the front of the end zone. That's 14-8 Colony. Unbelievable block by Petrov, getting in the disc with only a few meters to go. Colony putting the foot down. This unbelievable defense has been working for them all game, and the intensity has just ratcheted up as the opportunity comes for them to win. Amazing work by Petrov, coming over the shoulder, keeping his body well to the left, minimal contact, and getting his hand to the disc first. What an athlete. Colony with a chance to end the game here. Finish on a break. It's been their defense that's been winning this game for them. Mammoth have never looked comfortable. They've been able to squeeze out a few goals here and there, but never really got on a run. Colony offense not spending a lot of time on the field, getting it done with efficiency and professionalism. Andrews pulling again. It's Mammoth offense. This is their last chance. It's got to be all or nothing from here. If they want to make a run late in this game and really push the Colony, maybe give them get them rattled late. It's got to happen here. This has got to be efficient. This has got to be quick. They've got to get themselves into the mindset where they can attack the game and play defense here. They've got to show something that we haven't seen so far this game. Permack with the disc. Colony coming down in an early transition set. Spielman resetting the disc. Go around, back to Permack, losing ground here, but maintaining possession. Permack doesn't take the early swing. Lets the Colony defense clamp down and takes the backwards dump later. Mammoth again, not having a lot of luck attacking this through their handlers. Last time their most effective attack for this zone was a big throw over the top to a receiver in space, so trapped on the sideline, this might be all they've got late here. They're resetting backwards to Permack. Taking their time here, not gaining a lot of yards, maintaining possession, but there's no downfield players in a lot of threatening positions. We've got Murphy in the deep space for Mammoth, but Andrews is there patrolling and Powley guarding this close sideline. This is what Colony want. They can sense the blood in the water and they're circling here. It's a nice swing out to Spielman, but no continuation options for him. It's back to his handlers. Back to Spielman, back to Cook. This is some good movement. And then just an ill-advised quick shot. Sees the hole in the cup, but by the time he threw it, it's gone. And Colony looking to close out here. Todd Hill to Norton. 5 meters away. Norton looking for that cheeky flick again. Todd Hill goes around. Andrew and Palais in the area. Andrews with a grab, and that is Colony 15-8. Looking like the side in control all over this game, start to finish. Not letting Mammoth in at any one point. They did well to ramp up the intensity late. Never looked like they were going to rest on their laurels. Finished out strong. Stick with us. We've got a whole lot more games coming to you today. This is day 2. 3 and 4 days of Ultimate coming. It's going to be awesome. More pool play later today. Stick with us. I've been Rob Swan. Thanks for having us.
Multi.tv.